Welcome to Frady Cat Cartoons. In this video, I take you behind the scenes to see how I animated my last Frady Cat cartoon short. I'll show you what software I used and easy tips and tricks that I used to make animation in the simplest way possible. Because I hate thinking. It really hurts my head.
What's the matter with you? I'm trying to think, but nothing happens.
I don't consider myself the greatest artist or animator in the world, and I don't have a lot of time, so I've had to seek out the easiest ways I could find to making my lifelong dream of bringing cartoon characters to life. The easiest animation software that I found so far for myself is Cartoon Animator. Well, let's start out with this scene from my cartoon, How to Be a Secret Agent Like James Bond parody. First, you have to build your scene in layers. For this scene, I have the building image saved in PNG format, which allows me to cut out a hole for the window so the lady spy can peek out. She's behind the wall, and behind her is a black image to create shadows of the room she's in. Now that character came free in Cartoon Animator, at least I'm pretty sure she did. I don't think I had to pay for her. Now the cat, of course, is something that I made up. So I was kind of stumped on how to do this banana scene. Since I got the idea from an old Pink Panther cartoon called Pink Finger, I just ran the clip frame by frame and copied each frame. Then I opened up my free paint.net software and traced over each banana frame. And that didn't take very long, as I only needed like 4 banana images in 4 different stages. Well, in case you didn't notice, a lot of these clips are sped up just to save time. So the spy lady is a 2D figure. For the banana drop, there's 3 images. The banana she holds is just a flat PNG image. When she drops the banana peel, that's the second image. Then when the banana hits the ledge, it's the last PNG image. All that is represented by dots on the timeline. Under the Transform tab. So the first dot shows me the peel in her hand. On the second dot, I moved the first image away out of the edges of the frame, which is shown by a blue line. The next image pops in at the same time. Between that dot and the next one, the movement is recorded. And then the last dot, I moved that image out, and the last showing the peel laying flat.
You sure you know how to work that thing?
Cartoon Animator works with 2D figures, with bone structures and sprites. You can move the bones yourself or use pre-made motions. Now here's the thing that I have big issues with. Now notice if you go too far down the timeline to make your next move, the character doesn't seem to move naturally. He moves like he's in some sort of weird time bubble. For more natural movements, use about 5 to 7 frames. You have to play with it, depending on what the scene calls for. Now sometimes it's easy to get movements on the timeline you didn't want, and one little extra dot can really mess things up.
Oh, that is pretty ridiculous, isn't it?
In order to put your character together, you need to go to Cartoon Animator's Composer mode, where you build the character's moving parts, line them up with the bones, and create sprites for the mouth movements. Okay, so now to create your own original character, you need a program like Paint.net to draw up the parts that make up your character. And then in Composer mode in Cartoon Animator, you can put the pieces together. I use VideoPad and Video Editor to put my clips together. I can't say if it's the best program out there or not, but I do know how to use it, and it's not too difficult to learn, so I stick with it. Now, instead of a paid program like Cartoon Animator, a lot of people like to use things like Blender, of course, but the last time I used it, my brain exploded. To do this scene, I used an explosion effects blast from Cartoon Animator's content store. You put it where you want in the timeline, go to the action menu, and hit play. The blast lines are just 2 PNG images that I've slightly stretched out and moved out of the way quickly. Once the explosion smoke clears away, it reveals the burned out Frady Cat. For this, I just exchanged out the pre-blast Frady Cat for the darkened and roughed up looking face sprites that I pre-made for this scene. For this scene, I did the old trick where a cartoon character fits behind an object that they are obviously too big to hide behind. So remember, Frady Cat is a 2D figure. So I was like, how do I make half of him invisible? Well, you can turn part of them invisible at a time using the sprite editor, but the easier way for this scene I found was to use 3 different layers. I have the background that goes behind the cat, half of the exact same background to cover up half the cat, and then lastly I placed the lamppost right in front of everything. You know, it's almost a little bit like a magic trick. Okay, so what about using AI video generators? Well, I've been playing around with them a little bit, but personally I found it's not quite there yet. I mean, you can make it work if you have the money and the patience. Sometimes it's just as faster to do it with regular software. AI image generators come in handy for quick backgrounds, sometimes maybe a car or something, but you gotta be prepared to go over it and take things out that don't fit and draw in things that do. So there's that.
Oh, thinky foo.
I honestly don't like videos with AI narration. You don't get the feeling behind what's being said, you know. As far as moral implications go, there probably should be some rules behind AI to keep it honest. I actually took a humorous look at AI a while back, how to know if you're living in an AI. And also, I believe I looked at how to know if you are an AI or if your friend's an AI. I mean, you never know about these things. Now, there are also sites that have copyright-free images you might check out where individuals share art, and hopefully it's their art that they're sharing, of course. So let me know what you think. I love hearing positive comments, of course, but if I'm doing something wrong or if you have some suggestions on how to make my videos more entertaining, I'm always happy to get some constructive criticism or just suggestions on what kinds of videos you'd like to see in the future. I have a lot I'd like to do in the future, including bringing some of my old superhero characters into animated form. I have a time-traveling hero named Time Rider, and then there's Liberty Ace, who has a bit of Buck Rogers in him, and then there's a few others I haven't worked on in a long while. So please like, share, and subscribe, and if you haven't seen it yet, check out How to Be a Secret Agent like James Bond. Thanks, and y'all have a great day.